Close your eyes and imagine taking a trip with me, a short trip to the future. Imagine global temperature continuing to rise and drought becoming more severe. Wildfire become more deadlier, burning for longer period of the time, making them harder to contain. Imagine a world where lives are being lost and the health of people is getting worse and cities are being destroyed. Imagine the impact in our lives when companies, local businesses, and individuals are going bankrupt and the government is struggling to provide the relief. Now, imagine firefighters in that world. They would become exhausted, and it would become increasingly difficult, if not impossible, to protect homes from the flames. It's hard to believe, but the world we just imagined is not far from the reality we live in. Not all forest fires are bad. They actually are a natural way to clear dead vegetation and promote the growth of young trees. But the alarming truth is that most of the recent fires have been overwhelmingly destructive, causing significant damage to communities, ecosystems, and wildlife. And despite the fact wildfire are mostly acknowledged as a natural occurrence, the sobering reality is 95% of wildfire in Europe, 85% in the United States, and more than 40% in Canada are caused by human activities. This shocking statistic alone should compel us into the action. And unfortunately, our current approach to wildfire management is quite frankly outdated, with an over-reliance on manual labor and minimal use of technology. So we need to act swiftly. The need for a proactive solution to prevent and mitigate the wildfire apocalypse is no longer something we can ignore. It requires a comprehensive approach that combines innovative technology, increased public awareness, and collaboration between public and private sectors. Back in 2017, I was glued to the news of devastating wildfire right here in British Columbia. Over 1.2 million hectares were burned. 65,000 people were displaced, with a total cost of fire suppression over 650 million, causing the longest state of emergency in BC history. In 2018, wildfire hit us again, surpassing the previous year's destruction. I was seeing these catastrophic events hitting us right here in my backyard, year after year. And yet, despite this stark reality, it was disheartening to see that even local and global initiatives like the Paris Agreement lack a specific goal to address this urgent issue. As a researcher and engineer, my experience was centered around wireless communication, where I've conducted countless studies and published numerous papers. I've also been involved in many impactful projects, such as building robots to assist first responders in rescue missions, developing technologies to support autonomous vehicles, and contributing to launch a satellite to aid in mapping of the universe. But I was terrified by these devastating wildfires and climate change-related events, which compel me to rededicate my effort to address this growing concern, which I believe poses the greatest threat to humanity, our future, and future of our children. I started focusing on the technology and innovation needed to help prevent and mitigate the damage of wildfire. For instance, one of the innovative products we are working on is a sensor. We are all familiar with the humble smoke detector in our homes, always ready to alert us when a smoke is present. Now, imagine multiplying it in 1,000 and placing them in forests. We are also using the satellite and the cameras to constantly monitor high-risk areas. Our goal is to have a comprehensive system that can act as eyes and the nose for us in the forest. We are working on the power of AI to analyze the fire risk, to identify the most appropriate course of action. For example, if the risk crosses a certain threshold, the system recommends immediate action. Otherwise, it might suggest allowing the fire to run its natural courses. There is still so much room for innovation and advancement. And while we may not all be in the business of the wildfire, there is so much we can do. First, be terrified. Be terrified of potential danger, but then stay calm and try to find a way to have a positive impact. There is huge opportunity we can immediately address, and that's the fact that most wildfires are caused by us. Through educational campaign, outreach program, and media coverage, we can educate the public and private sector about the consequence of seemingly small action, like discarding a cigarette carelessly, leaving campfire unattended, or improperly burning debris. Ultimately, an informed, committed, engaged general public and business sector play a critical role in reducing the frequency and severity of wildfires. Finally, we must understand that the burden of wildfire management doesn't fall solely on the government. It requires collaboration among different government jurisdictions, the corporation, the private landowner, and as well as individual citizens. We have the ability to prevent the apocalyptic world we imagined earlier. And by doing so, address some of the greatest challenges facing humanity, that of climate change, resource scarcity, and environmental degradation. By leveraging technology, increasing public awareness, and fostering collaboration, we can ensure a sustainable and resilient future for us and future generations. It's now more crucial than ever that we come together to address and combat this threat before these infernal flames consume us all.